What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LaForce video. I hope you all had a great 4th of July. I know I did. This week I will be talking about the pros and cons of Valorant post-beta release, and I'll answer the question, is Valorant worth playing? I'll first talk about the negatives of the game. If you like to play a support character like Sage, you are already at a disadvantage in the game. Unfortunately, in competitive, the ranking system is flawed as it benefits people who play duelists over support characters. The biggest factor in being able to rank up as a top fragger and getting those entry frags right at the start of the round. Those will boost you up the most. So playing a character like Raze, Phoenix, Reyna, or Jett, you obviously have an advantage because you're meant to do this. Their abilities support being a top fragger, while the abilities of a character like Sage, Cypher, or Sova support you being as a support. You play as a support character, you're going to be at the back, so you're not going to have those entry frags at the beginning of the rounds, which is what really boosts you up besides wins. So, this makes it hard for a Sage player to be on the leaderboard as a top fragger, and if you are top fragging as a Sage, there's a little problem with the rest of your team. Second, games like this, for some reason, feel like a place for toxic individuals to go. Because of this, especially when you get into competitive mode, you may be dealing with a heavy amount of toxic players, and it gets tiresome. It also makes it hard for you to play and easy for you to fall from being a top fragger to being a mid fragger to being a bottom fragger. So, at least you can mute these players, but it still makes it hard to play because then you don't hear callouts if they are playing like a team. If they do tend to play like a team, then you don't hear their callouts. Or they just tend to sit on the other side of the map, and if they're in a party, then those players will play by themselves and they'll completely disregard you or anyone else on the team. On the map side of things, there are tons of corners. Because of this these map features, there are tons of places to corner camp. When you're playing offense or defense, you tend to find yourself fighting off people in corners more than you see them in an alley or on site. They're just sitting around corners waiting for you to peek in. It makes it very hard to play, especially when you are defending. You don't expect an attacker to be sitting around a corner, you're expecting them to be pushing a site. This makes it very hard to play. It's also tough because new players may go AFK early in the game because they don't realize that when you get down that you haven't even switched sides, so they tend to go AFK before you even have a chance to switch to the other side of defending or attacking. Which brings me to my next point. Some of the maps are very defender advantage heavy. Bind, for example, is a very small map, and when somebody sees somebody on one site, it takes a very short time for the rest of the team to rotate. This makes it easy for the defending team to pick off maybe one or two attackers and then have a 5v4 or 3 on one of the sites, which makes it very hard for the attackers to have an advantage on a small map like this. The last issue I have with the game is many of the players, especially in lower ranks, don't have mics. This may seem like a minor pitfall, however, if you think about the strategy of an FPS like Valorant, which is what we're talking about today, it can make it difficult to execute a solid attack or defense strat. Like I said before, you get people who want to play by themselves or play with another team because they think you are arrogant, trash, whatever you call it, and they tend not to play with a team. And if you get somebody without a mic, it makes it hard for them to call out when somebody's on them or when somebody's on you and they don't really hear you or they got you muted or whatever, they can't hear, they're playing through their game audio or just without headphones. It makes it very hard to play as a team and understand where players are. Before I talk about whether or not Valorant is even worth downloading and playing, let me first highlight some of the things I feel Riot did very well with this game. Even though many of the maps have some issues like the corners and stuff like that, the only thing I really like about the maps is that they are all unique. For example, Bind has the teleporter that you can take from one side of the map to the other, and Ascent has utilizes working garage doors, and players can open and close to help push attackers or defenders through different points into each plant zone. Riot did a very good job making all the maps very different, very playable for when they're, especially for there only being 4 maps. It makes it very nice since you are only playing 4 maps for however long you play. You don't feel like you're trapped doing the same thing, same routine, same push, same defense. There's a very different feel to each map because of these these things like the teleporters, the garage doors, all the heavens are different. Haven has 3 points, so you get a little bit more thinned out on Haven, but I really like it just because there's a lot more things you can do. You're not stuck doing the same thing every game, and it feels just different every map you play. I also feel like the guns are very well balanced for how with cost and damage. The better you do in a previous round, the more money you have going forward. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Each kill you get gives you a certain amount of money. A plan gives you a certain amount of money. A win or a loss gives you a certain amount of money. And obviously, there's the idea of econ to get the advantage. So, because of this, I feel all the guns are very well. And Riot has even said that they have their 27 guns. They don't feel like they're going to take out any or remove any unless they find a big problem with them. And I mean, you have to spend your money the way you want it. I mean, everyone's got access to the same gun, so there's no advantage, there's no disadvantage. Yeah, somebody might econ a little better than somebody else and get an op or a vandal or um, uh, the LMGs. I mean, there's the Ares and the I can't think of what the other one's called, but I mean, you just have to spend your money the way you want to play. It's all up to that. There's no advantage or disadvantage. If you don't know how to spend your money, then you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage. It's not because the other players are better. And this game plays really well to creating a level platform. So then, I mean, yeah, I if you're close, I mean, all the guns have their play styles. I mean, obviously the snipers you're gonna play from far away. And the LMGs go through walls, stuff like that. So it's just how you want to play and how you want to spend your money. There's no disadvantage or advantage to buying certain guns or the other ones because everyone has access to them. You just have to econ the way you want to play. So, and then, which brings me to my next point, along with all the guns being different, balanced, and all that, the characters are all different and support different playstyles as well, just like the guns do. If you like to play back and slow down, then try a character like Sage or Cypher, where you can wait a little bit, let your team do some entry fragging or some scouting for you, and then play a support character, and or let them into the zone with Cypher and get a tripwire or know they're there. And then if you like to play fast and loud, then try a character like Raze or Reyna. I mean, you get an entry frag, you get a pick, anything. Those characters are great for that. They've got the abilities to do that. So if you start playing in Valorant, you have to play 20 unrated matches before you can join the competitive queue, which it's not a lot. I mean, it's a fun game. It's a great game to play. You get to learn all 4 maps. So if the maps are pretty even, that's 5 games apiece. And so in the end, I mean, you're learning the maps at 5 games apiece, then you get your ranked games. You're still learning the maps. You're still learning how to play. So it's a perfect mixture of on-rated and competitive before you can play competitive. And then during these 20 games, my recommendation is to try using the characters, test out their abilities, and just find a character that fits you in the unrated, and then you can play in competitive and rank up as much as you'd like. So it's a lot more fun once you get it unlocked, but you got to get those games done so you learn the map, learn how to play, learn the callouts, everything like that. It makes it a lot more fun when you understand what's going on. One thing I would say about the characters is that there's some overlap between some of their abilities, like Phoenix, Breach have flashes, Reyna, Sage, Phoenix have heals, Omen, Brimstone, and Jet have smokes. I mean, all these abilities come in handy, but there's a little bit of overlap with all of them. So, I mean, just learn the characters and learn the set of abilities you have because they all don't overlap. Just a couple of the abilities are a little similar on each. The smokes last a little bit longer on some characters. So just find a character that fits you, and it'll make the game a lot more fun as well. And then for the most part, competitive gameplay offers a great environment for those players who want to compete, rank up, and challenge themselves. It is also a great place to meet new people to play with in the future. I've added many people that I played with during a competitive game because our play styles went well together, along with the fact that they were very humble, nice people. We fragged pretty evenly, and not only that, like when one of us had a off round, we just joked about it, got back into the game, and just continued. So it makes it a lot more fun when you got people you know and you're playing with, and you got a team set together. Everyone's got their set characters, set roles, and you get to know those, and it gets to be a lot more fun, a lot more easy. And then Valorant's on-rated gameplay offers a nice, slower pace environment for players who are looking to play an FPS game but don't know which one to play. I suggest using this on-rated game mode to try and figure that out. The unrated matches are a great place to start for those types of players. It's a great way to learn the desktop controls for the FPS games, and they're also less toxic environment for the most part. You might get a couple people going AFK, but I mean, even in competitive, you're getting people going AFK right now. They also offer a spike rush mode. This mode takes a quarter of the time to play a full match. If you're looking to play a quick game before you go to bed or go to work, spike rush is a great opportunity for this. Overall, I would recommend Valorant to anyone who is looking to try their first FPS shooter and just look for a competitive place or a competitive game to try out and get good at and understand how it works. And the different characters make it a lot more fun. The different maps make it a lot more fun. Just having a group of people to go out and mess around with on this game makes it a lot more fun as well. So I would highly recommend this. If you haven't tried it already, I've surely enjoyed, and it's one of my favorite games out right now. So I will continue to play it and continue to get better and try to share that on my stream. And let me know what your rank is if you have played, or let me know how you're doing, or if you download it, let me know what you think of it, and don't forget to like and subscribe the video for more. If you like this week's video, don't forget to tune back in for next week's video. We're going to start talking about each of the characters and their playability on all of the maps. So hopefully this week I get into some good maps, or all the maps with Raze, and I'll be talking about how I use her abilities through all the maps and how I try to be a top fragger and move up in competitive. Don't forget to search me up on Twitch. We're trying to reach 50 followers and get affiliated on there. So don't forget to follow me there and like and subscribe this video and tune into next week's video. Thank you.